What would make a perfectly normal town feel completely off? Not scary, not dangerous, just off. Like the kind of off where you can't put your finger on it, but you definitely want to leave before dark. I'm talking about towns that have polished themselves so hard they've gone from charming to uncanny valley. 10 of them, all in North Carolina, all doing the same thing. Turning lived-in history into a theme park you never bought a ticket to, and once you see it, you genuinely can't unsee it. Let's get into it. Number 1, Bryson City. Bryson City looks like someone typed perfect mountain town into an AI image generator and then just built it. The flower baskets match. The fonts on the signs match. Even the color of the wood stain on the storefronts kind of matches. That level of coordination doesn't happen by accident. But here's what nobody tells you. Walk those streets on a random Tuesday and it feels like a movie set between takes. Shops open whenever. There's no hardware store, no laundromat, just gift shops selling the same rustic stuff in slightly different arrangements, all looping you around the same 2 blocks. And the whole thing runs on one engine, the Great Smoky Mountains Railroad. Number 2, Roanoke Rapids. Roanoke Rapids looks like a renovation project where the contractor just never came back. There's a beautiful restored theater downtown, some fresh murals, a heritage center all about the textile history, and then right next to all that, storefronts with sun-bleached for lease signs that have clearly been there since like the Bush administration. First one? Maybe both. The town markets itself hard on the Roanoke River, the Canal Trail, the whole industrial legacy thing, and that stuff is real. But the brochure and the actual town feel like they're describing 2 completely different places. Here's the thing. Halifax County has one of the highest poverty rates in North Carolina. That's the context sitting underneath every polished plaque. Roanoke Rapids at least has a reason for the disconnect. The next town on this list? The disconnect is basically the whole point. Number 3, Lumberton. Lumberton has a genuinely beautiful historic downtown. Old brick buildings, wide streets, a courthouse that looks like it belongs on a postcard. Crop your photos right, and it could be anywhere charming in the South. But here's what nobody tells you. Step outside that historic district and you're basically at a truck stop. Lumberton sits right on I-95, so you get the full highway corridor experience. Fast food chains, budget motels, the works. That contrast is jarring. And then there's the flood damage. Hurricane Matthew hit in 2016. Florence hit in 2018. Back to back. Some parts of town are still visibly recovering. The rest of the country moved on. Lumberton didn't get that option. Number 4, Mount Airy. Okay, so Mount Airy is the one that broke my brain a little, because this is Andy Griffith's actual hometown, and the town has leaned into the Mayberry thing so hard it basically became the show. There's a Floyd City barbershop. There are squad cars styled like the ones from the series. There's a whole annual event called Mayberry Days. It's real. It's happening. But here's the catch. The Andy Griffith Show ended in 1968. Mayberry never existed. And yet Mount Airy built its entire identity around being the real version of a fictional town from a 50-year-old sitcom. The shops are themed around it. The tourism runs on it. Mount Airy went all in on one specific identity and never looked back. Henderson took a different route. It kept its history, but somehow the history itself became the weird part. Number 5, Henderson. Henderson looks like someone froze it in 1946 and just never came back to finish the job. Wide streets, massive brick buildings, a courthouse that belongs on a postage stamp. On paper, it's exactly what you want from a small southern town. In practice, walking through it feels like the opening scene of a movie where something bad is definitely about to happen. But here's the catch. That architecture is only still standing because nothing ever replaced it. The tobacco economy that built Henderson collapsed. The manufacturing jobs left. So you're walking past these gorgeous old storefronts and half of them are empty. The charm is real, but it's basically load-bearing poverty dressed up in really good bones. Number 6, Reedsville. Reedsville is trying, like really trying. There are murals going up, events getting organized, a whole Main Street push to pull in new businesses. The effort is so visible it's almost uncomfortable to watch. And that's the thing. When a town is working this hard to get your attention, being there starts to feel like a job. Every coffee you buy feels like a vote. Every Instagram like feels like a lifeline. The desperation isn't loud, but it's there. American Tobacco Company used to anchor this whole place. That's gone now. So Reedsville is running the small town revival playbook, but the audience it's performing for hasn't fully shown up yet. You can feel exactly that gap standing on Main Street. Number 7, Eden. Eden is technically a city, but it wasn't born that way. It was built in 1967 by stapling 3 separate towns together. Leakesville, Draper, and Spray. Just merged. Done. And here's the thing about forcing 3 distinct communities into one. The seams never disappear. Each of those original towns had its own downtown, its own identity, its own reason for existing. Combine them and you don't get something stronger. You get 3 weaker versions all competing for the same zip code. The Dan River running through it is genuinely beautiful, and there's real outdoor recreation potential. But you can feel the identity confusion the second you try to figure out which part of Eden you're actually in. Let that sink in. 60 years later, and the merger is still working itself out. Residents of the original 3 towns kept separate loyalties for decades. Some still do. So, when Eden feels a little unfocused, a little hard to read, that's not an accident. That's just 3 towns that never fully became one. Eden's problem is too many identities. Wadesboro's problem is that its identity is almost too specific and way too easy to miss entirely. Number 8, Wadesboro. Travel writers love calling Wadesboro a hidden gem. And look, I get it. The historic district is gorgeous. Antebellum homes, quiet streets, the kind of architecture that makes photographers lose their minds. But here's what nobody tells you. Anson County is one of the poorest counties in all of North Carolina. Those beautiful old homes were built with plantation wealth, and the time-standing still vibe that makes visitors swoon, that's not charm. That's what happens when economic development skips a town for several generations straight. There's also a preservation problem. The architecture gets the landmark status. The history of the people who actually built those homes gets almost none of that same attention. You're being asked to appreciate something without being handed the full story of what you're looking at. Wadesboro asks you to look at history without fully explaining it. Albemarle went the other direction. It tried to explain itself so thoroughly that it accidentally made itself stranger. Number 9, Albemarle. Albemarle is going for it. Murals everywhere, festivals, a whole "come experience authentic small-town life" pitch. And honestly, it's kind of working. Downtown has real energy. New businesses are opening. People are actually showing up. But here's the catch. The second a town makes authenticity its brand, the authenticity is gone. Every mural is a choice. Every shop local sign is a performance. And you can feel it even if you can't explain why. The cotton and textile history is real. The families who've been there for generations are real. But there's a filter sitting over all of it now, and that filter was built for your Instagram, not for the people who actually live there. Number 10, Kinston. Kinston is the one that actually messes with your head, because it's genuinely doing it right. Chef Vivian Howard put this town on the food map. There's a craft brewery, a minor league baseball team, real creative energy downtown. By every measure, Kinston is a win. So why does it still feel off? Because the revival is a bubble. Step 2 blocks outside downtown and you're in a Lenoir County that has serious poverty and serious vacancy. The Kinston is Back story is real, but it's real in a very small radius. And here's the thing about a food-led revival. Visitors come to eat, not to see the town. You're not visiting Kinston, you're visiting the restaurant. So here's the actual thing. Every single town on this list is doing the same move. They take a messy, complicated, sometimes painful history and package it into something you can walk around in for 2 hours and feel good about. And that's not always wrong. Towns need to survive. But the cost of that packaging? It's paid by the people who live there, not the people visiting on a Saturday. That off feeling you got reading this? That's your brain noticing the gap between the story being sold and the reality underneath it. It's not paranoia. It's pattern recognition. Drop a comment. Which of these towns have you actually been to, and did it feel off? Or did it feel totally fine and now I've completely ruined it for you? Either way, subscribe, because there are more lists exactly like this one coming, and you're going to want to be there.